Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. And for today's video we're going to be doing something a little bit different. So I decided, since it is October, which is, Halloween month, I decided I'm going to be doing something different this time of year. I've been wanting to do kind of scary, true crime, conspiracy theory videos for quite a while. I get inspired to do these videos by Kendall Ray. So I decided this month it's kind of going to be a bit of an experiment, kind of a little bit of a test. So all throughout October I'm going to be talking about scary murder cases and the conspiracy theory videos, so stay tuned for that. And if you guys enjoy these true crime videos, maybe I'll start doing them on my channel, so yeah. But anyways, for today's video we're going to be talking about a woman named Elisa Lam. Elisa Lam was born April 30th in 1991 in Vancouver, Canada. At the time of her death, she was a student at the University of British Columbia in Vancouver, Canada. So in late January, Elisa went on vacation and she decided to stay in Los Angeles, California, and she stayed at the Cecil Hotel. So the Cecil Hotel is a very scary, shady place because there had been a lot of deaths and suicides there. A serial killer by the name of Richard Ramirez had stayed there, and another serial killer named Jack Unterweger, I'm probably butchering his name, had stayed there as well. While he was there, he committed suicide. He had killed up to 10 to 12 people. The whole history about the hotel is very complicated, so I'm not going to go into detail about the hotel, but you get the point. It's just a very creepy place. In fact, I think the show American Horror Story had made a season all about the hotel. I might be wrong, but I think there was a season about it. So there is elevator footage of Elisa in the elevator, and in the video she's acting really odd. Like, she's doing hand gestures and she's looking around. It's really weird. I will insert a clip of her in the elevator. Yeah, I know, it's pretty freaking creepy. It's just weird because it looks like she's just hiding from someone, or I don't know, she's just moving her arms. It's pretty weird in my opinion. I have no idea what she's looking at. It's really hard to tell because I don't know if you guys noticed, it looks like some clips of the elevator footage was kind of cut, and it looks like there was some inconsistent skips and jumps. It looks really weird. It looks really edited. I'm thinking maybe there's someone they didn't want us to see, or something they didn't want us to see. It was just hard to look at. And I don't know if you guys noticed this, but after she got out of the elevator, the door just kept shutting and then opening, then shutting, then opening. I'm like, what? But that elevator footage would be the last time anybody would see Elisa. Until 18 days later, when guests were complaining about their water tasting odd and being weird colors. The workers were sent up to go check what was going on with the water, and when workers went to go see what was going on with the water tank, Elisa's dead body was found floating in the water. And at that point, Elisa's dead body had been in the tank for 18 days. Just let that sink in that guests were drinking her dead body water for 18 days. That's morbid. Toxicologists went to go see what was wrong with Elisa's body. Apparently there was nothing wrong. There was no drugs in her system, not even her bipolar medication. But now to get into the theories on what really happened to Elisa. So the most popular and logical theory was that she was murdered by a hotel staff member. The reason why people think this is because you would need access to the hotel water tanks, and if a guest were to open the door, an alarm would go off. So people think a hotel staff member who had access to the roof went up there with Elisa's body and killed her, which I could really see being possible, because if it would have been some random guest who killed her, an alarm would have gone off when they gone up there. Plus, it is possible the hotel could be trying to cover for the staff member, because the footage looked just very tampered with and cut. I think something definitely was cut from the elevator footage. Just the inconsistencies and jumps in the elevator footage was weird. Like, at one moment in the footage, you could see how an elevator door just closes so abruptly. Like, it goes from being here to here, like, really quick. Like, I find it really odd. So I think that's a really logical theory that she was killed by a hotel staff member. Another theory is that Elisa was possessed, which could really explain why the elevator doors were not closing at one point. Like, the whole thing with the doors not closing is really paranormal and really odd, and I could definitely see her being possessed as an option, but I don't know if ghosts or spirits are real, but I think it's definitely possible. Another theory is that she committed suicide. Like I said earlier, she was bipolar, but I don't know, because Elisa had plans to go stay at another hotel after she were to check out of the Cecil Hotel, so I don't really know if she would kill herself. Like, I know she was bipolar, but I don't know, just the whole theory of her committing suicide seems unlikely, because it is said that it is almost impossible to commit suicide by drowning. Like, I feel like it's really hard to just sit there and drown. So that theory just doesn't really add up to me. Like, I feel like if she wanted to kill herself, she would have just jumped off the building and not drown in the tank, because it's hard to commit suicide by drowning. Like, it's almost impossible. So I feel like that theory just doesn't sit well with me. It doesn't really add up. Another interesting theory was Elisa was playing an elevator game, and I don't know really how to describe the elevator game, but apparently she's supposed to click like some row of numbers and stuff, and like I think after clicking a certain row of numbers, she would get to a floor where she gets out of the elevator, and then there's a woman who says, "Where are you going?" And she's not supposed to look at her, she's just supposed to run out, and if she's by herself, she's in a different world. Like, I don't know really how to describe it. It's really complicated, and besides, I don't really think this theory makes sense, because I don't know, it just feels weird. Like, it looked like she was like clicking elevator buttons maybe to escape somebody, or like I said, she could have been hallucinating on drugs, so I don't think this theory makes any sense. Another bizarre, interesting theory was that Elisa was killed by the government. The reason why people think this is because a little bit before she got to stay at the hotel, she had tweeted something about a project in Canada. It was about an invisibility cloak for like the military and stuff. People think the government killed her because she knew too much about it, but I don't know if that makes sense, because because it was an article online. Like, other people could have shared this article, so that theory, I don't know. So to me, that theory is kind of bullshit. Another interesting theory that kind of leaves me shook is the theory that Elisa Lam never existed. Basically, in this theory, I think the government or somebody wanted to like cover up something that was going on in the Skid Row area. Basically, there was an outbreak of tuberculosis in the Skid Row area, and there was a test to determine it, and the name of the test was called Lam Elisa. So basically, people think the government created like this character called Elisa Lam because they didn't want people to find out about the tuberculosis outbreak, so maybe Elisa Lam was not real. Which, this theory is weird, but I could definitely see it being possible, because there is literally no pictures of her body online. Like, normally after murders, there's pictures of the bodies and stuff online, and nobody ever saw pictures of her body. And I don't think anybody ever saw her in a gurney, which is pretty weird. I could definitely see this being possible, because, you know, the government is definitely shady and sketchy, so I could definitely see this theory being possible, but I don't know, it's still a little bit out there, but I wouldn't put it past the government. So when I've heard all these theories, I kind of lean towards the theory that she was murdered by a hotel staff member. Like, that theory makes the most sense to me, but the whole theory of her not being a real person does make sense, because we never saw her body. Like, I know when Kanika Jenkins died, there were pictures of her body, and I know in many other murder cases, there's pictures of the bodies online. There was never a picture of Elisa's body, so I could definitely see the whole Lam Elisa theory being real. But if I'm being logical, I'm leaning towards the whole murdered by hotel staff member. Just the cuts in the elevator footage just kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth. It doesn't make any sense why they would cut footage out. Like, it would definitely make sense, like, they were trying to cover for a hotel staff member because of the inconsistent cuts and missing footage from the elevator. So if I'm being logical, I'm leaning towards the theory that she was murdered by a hotel staff member. But if I'm being crazy and being out there, I would definitely lean towards the Lam Elisa theory. But for me, odds are that she was just killed by a hotel staff member and the hotel's trying to cover for them. But there are a few interesting things about this case. One interesting thing is how similar this case is to the movie Dark Water. It was a film in Japan in 2002, and ironically, the woman in the movie is wearing a really similar outfit. Like, it's really odd. I don't know if this is a coincidence or maybe it was planned or something, but it's definitely odd. But here's the really crazy part. After Elisa's murder, the hotel is still open. Ever since the whole incident, the hotel has changed its name. Nowadays, the hotel is called the Stay on Main. It seems to me that they're just trying to erase the history of the hotel by changing the name, but I don't think anybody can forget whatever happened at that hotel. You would think by now the hotel would have been shut down forever, but hey, people love a haunted hotel. I wanted to end this video by saying I do not mean any disrespect towards Elisa's family. I think it's sad what happened to her, and like, I don't mean any disrespect towards her or her family. But yeah, you guys, that was my first true crime conspiracy video, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you guys want to see more of these, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up and be sure to hit that big subscribe button below. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week back with another spooky video. Bye.